Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 22nd of May. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after the last 24 hours. Now, if these head and shoulders were going to break down, the ideal day for that to happen would have been yesterday. I have been warning the last couple of mornings that we're coming up to, obviously, a holiday on Monday. So it's a long weekend, and we've got 3 consecutive bullish leading days historically on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we have these kind of head and shoulder patterns. They do not age like fine wines. Either they break down or they are forming another pattern, in which case we would be at high risk of a retest of the high. I think that's what's happening here, and I think that's probably what we're going to see today. In terms of NQ, the same. In terms of RTY, not quite the same. This could still be a head and shoulders, and we are further away from the high. We do still have a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed on NQ. We've still got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on RTY. We've still got one on YM, or at least will do for another 13 minutes, at which point at the moment, unless we see a decline, that's going to fail. DAX, we've got a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed, but at the moment, I'm leaning towards seeing an all-time high retest today or Tuesday. And watching out for that, we will see. In terms of ESTX, we've retested this high, potential double top there, and Nikkei is pretty close to a retest of the high, and I'm thinking may well retest the high. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. And looking at if we see a retest of the high, that would of course set daily RSI 14 sell signals brewing. It's unlikely to fail the RSI 5 sell signal. Same with SPX. We didn't quite make it back to the daily middle band, but it sort of nodded at it, which was the first time since this last low at the end of March. I'm thinking the next test will probably break down below it, and we may well be setting up a double top here to replace the head and shoulders. In terms of the head and shoulders here, had we been looking at a gap down, sizable gap down, rather than a gap up, this head and shoulders would no longer have been high quality, but would still have been perfectly valid. But I think if we're seeing a gap up here, then I will be leaning towards either the retest of the high here or a flag forming, which will in due course, or a triangle, which will in due course lead us to a retest of the high. On the 15-minute chart, no divergence. 15-minute buy signal here, made target, but that's pretty much where we are. In terms of the Qs, we've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and if we see a retest of the high, we will get a nice quality RSI 14 sell signal brewing as well. In terms of the hourly chart, the RSI 14 sell signal has reached the possible near miss target, as has the one on SPX. In terms of the head and shoulders, still pretty decent if we were looking at a gap down. Without a gap down, then this is a not particularly decent looking setup. We have a high risk of heading back into the highs. With a gap up, then that'll put us close to it, and that increases that chance. In terms of the 15-minute chart, we had RSI 14 buy signal, and that has also made target. Now, on Dia, we actually saw the high retest I've been looking for. Is that enough? Not quite, but I think we're going to see the high retest, the all-time high retest on on INDA on this morning. So with the gap up, at least that's what the YM chart is suggesting. In terms of the double top here, obviously we went up through it. We've got a much larger potential double top here now, or at least we will do after the open when that's confirmed on the INDA chart. So liking that, but we don't really have a clear topping pattern here. On the 15-minute chart, we had another buy signal on the RSI 14. That too has made target. All right, great. The original we did have head and shoulders or double top that had broken down here, but obviously that failed back up into a retest of the highs. Okay, let's have a look at the IWM chart. Okay, IWM. We actually broke below the daily middle band and went to the daily lower band, and we've now broken back above the daily middle band. This is setting up for a potential high retest, and at the moment that seems likely. Is this going to affect the RSI 14 sell signal on the daily? No. Is it likely to fail? No. Do we have a nice looking pattern suggesting it's not going to go much higher than the retest? Yes. So we will see how that goes. On the hourly chart, no current divergence. Again, we had another 15-minute buy signal that made the target. With a sizable gap up, this head and shoulders is weakened. It's not as high quality as it was, but it still would have been okay if we were looking at a sizable gap down this morning, but we're not. We're looking actually at a sizable gap up. So I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of the high here too. On DAX, wondering about a retest of the all-time high here as well, depending on what happens here. And Nikkei, I'm certainly looking at that, looking at the what happened yesterday with the break back over the daily middle band and the action overnight. Okay, let's have a look at DX. DX, I think, is waiting for the next big move up on oil, and we are just consolidating until then. Not a lot to see on the others. USD, we've got a double IHS which broke up and is in no danger of failing. Hey, Doug. GBP USD. We will see how this goes, but USD likely would head lower. If we see dollar, when we see dollar going up, we're probably going to see that IHS fail, but it's not close to failing at the moment. GBP USD would likely make this double top target, which it hasn't quite made yet. USD JPY would likely make the IHS target, which is a retest of this high. USD CAD would likely make the IHS target, which is in a target, has a target in the 1.387 area. Australian dollar could be forming a head and shoulders here. NZUSD could be forming a head and shoulders here as well. All right, let's have a look at bonds. Now, bonds, we're seeing a little bit more of a rally here. It's not really an awful lot. We're back testing the weekly pivot, which obviously is resistance only for today, and we've got a week 6-minute sell signal fixed, which could fail. It's only a weak signal. We will see. On ZN, I'm looking at a potential inverted head and shoulders forming here, so we could extend the rally here while equities goes back and retest the all-time highs. We shall see. In terms of oil, we are seeing a pullback on wild news about deals and this, that, and the other. And to be honest, this was particularly annoying yesterday. There was news that that the supreme leader in Iran had basically said there was no way on earth they were ever going to ship off their uranium. Then we had a denial that was the case, and then we had a denial that the denial was true. And then on the negotiations, we had a apparently fairly high quality piece of news that the US and Iran were very close to a deal, and then we had a denial from the Iranians that was true, and comments that actually the negotiations had failed because really there was nothing to talk about. And then this morning I'm seeing more reports that the talks might be on. I think what is clear is that talks are happening. Don't know whether they've got any chance of succeeding, but it is likely that talks are happening. Beyond that, I think it's very hard to say anything, except that the Iranians are not showing much sign of moving on their red lines. If they're not moving on their red lines, then really there is nothing to talk about. So we will see how that develops. My expectations of a deal are not high, but you never know on these things. CL, I'm wondering about a bull flag forming here. And I'm thinking that we've got a nice looking double bottom here. Might get a 5-minute buy signal if we can retest this overnight low here. Nice looking little double bottom, which could at least take us up to the flag resistance. But I think we're likely forming a bull flag here, and then when that flag finishes forming, we're likely going higher. So we will see. HO could be a bull flag forming here too. RBOB could be a bull flag forming here too. NG, we're seeing a likely bull flag forming here, and I'm still looking for the IHS target, the 3.17 area. GC is being rather wishy-washy, but at the moment, if we're going to see a move down on equity soon and a move up on oil soon, both of which seem likely, then I'm probably at that stage looking for this double top to make the target in the 43.30 to 45.60 area. Looking at SI, 60-minute buy signal fix, hasn't made target yet. Palladium made the possible near miss target. Platinum made the possible near miss target. HG made the full target, weak 6-minute sell signal fixed, and this could be a bear flag forming. So this probably isn't going to go down much today if we're seeing a decent move up. Yeah, it's actually quite a nice little bear flag, which looks as though it's ready to break down. Sorry, I'm just going to mark in the colours here. So watching that with interest. I'm leaning short broadly over the next few weeks, but obviously putting in a high on equities would help. I'm not seeing much more high on equities, but it does look like we're going to retest this high. That's not entirely unexpected. High retest, some kind of double top or double bottom is the case on SPX at about 70% of highs and lows. All right, looking at the other commodities, KC. KC, 60-minute buy signals reached possible near miss target, possible double bottom setup, SB. Nice looking triangle, which is getting less nice overnight because we've broken my nice looking triangle support trend line. Watching this with interest, but this could be expanding into a flag, maybe, or it could be the triangle is actually breaking down against expectations. CC, heading down towards the head and shoulder target in the 3,500 area. CT looks like a bull flag forming. Lumber just wiggling around till equities start going down seriously. I think then the downtrend will likely resume. ZW bullish consolidation, I think, looking at the bigger picture charts. Corn the same, soy the same. ZL very much the same, although actually this hasn't come down much from the high at all. Live cattle, we've made a lower low here. This could be a larger flag forming, or we could be heading towards this possible head and shoulder neckline, which I've got down here in about the 236.75 area. Watching that with great interest. That could put this onto a larger downtrend. In terms of HE, we have gone lower again tonight. This is no longer a flag. It's gone down too much. 60-minute buy signal is fixed and hasn't failed yet, but I'm wondering if it's going to. So at the moment, it had several opportunities to turn back up and not done it. We shall see. All right, great. Doug, do you want me to go through anything again? Nope. In that case, that's a wrap. Everyone take care. Have a wonderful weekend. All right. Cheers, Doug. Catch you later, mate.